Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Common versus Smith.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Bowley-Jack, you and your mother recently appeared in court to help resolve a paternity dispute for your sister. This motivated you to get the answers you've desperately been searching for 3 decades. Your mother has always told you the defendant, Mr. Smith, is your biological father, and you hope today's results prove she's right. Mr. Smith, you say it's admirable that Ms. Bowley-Jack believes her mother, but you say you knew the life Miss Common was living and are absolutely sure you are not the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Bowley-Jack, I'll start with you. Tell the court what life has been like for the past 30 years.
The past 30 years, I've had a number of emotions: anger, hurt, resentment, not knowing who my father was, growing up with other kids with their fathers and me not having a father. And even into adulthood, my children question who their grandfather is, and I can't give a clear answer.
And that must hurt.
Yes.
Ms. Common,
Yes, Your Honor.
this has been very difficult for your daughter,
Yes.
but you are certain Mr. Smith is her biological father?
I'm absolutely sure, Your Honor.
And growing up telling her this, but her saying she doesn't know, she's not certain.
Well, the only reason that she's not certain that Robert is her father is because he'd never been around. I mean, like, I told him when she was 1 year old that he was the father, and I gave him her address and phone number and told him how he can get in contact with her. But he never did. He got in contact with her once, and then that was it. He didn't get in contact with her no more.
And so, Mr. Smith, Ms. Common has said you've had the information. You don't believe you're Ms. Bowley-Jack's biological father?
No, ma'am. I don't believe so. She don't favor none of my kids. You know what I mean? So, and then the mama, she was out there living the life.
Hold up, baby. I was not out there living the life. When me and you were together, baby, it was just me and you. It was like summer love. It was just me and you. We was together. It was summer love, baby. It was me and you. It wasn't no, I was out there. And you know the reason I left you. I left you because you were the one out there hoeing around.
So what was the nature of the relationship? Tell me. Well, you said it was summer love, Ms. Common.
Yeah, but girl, women kept coming up to me telling me that Rob was their man and wanted to fight me over Robert and stuff like that, so I left him. And I got with my other older boyfriend, and I told him that he was...
First of all...
And I told him that he was the father because he was much older and he was much responsible for taking care of her. But there's a possibility that he's the father too.
Oh, so you're saying right now that there is a possibility that someone else is your daughter's biological father?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because at the time when it was summer love with Mr. Smith...
I was still going back to my ex.
After you got done with him because he was acting up.
Right.
When the summer love turned cold.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
and you went back to the ex.
And I went back to my ex, yes, because he was much older and much more responsible.
Yeah, but
do you remember this relationship, this summer love, Mr. Smith?
No, it wasn't like that. She lying. She lying.
What was it like? If I was hoeing, who was I hoeing with? Name one man I was with.
I only hit it a few times.
Oh, okay.
For real, only a few times. Nah.
Well, how many times did we have sex?
About 3 times.
I'm sorry.
About 3 times, that was it.
I just don't want to hear all that. Can we get back to where we
That was it. You know? She disappeared.
But it only takes once. You know that.
I understand.
And if you didn't use protection, that's how you make babies.
And we didn't use protection. Neither time, all the times we made love, we never used protection.
All right, so we know that you were having unprotected sex. So now we do understand that you two have now entered the zone at that point where you could create a child.
Yes.
So take me to the point you find out you're pregnant, Ms. Common.
Okay, when I found out I was pregnant, I already knew in my heart that Rob was the father. And I didn't want to tell him because he was too childish and he was just crazy. So I moved back with my family members, and my family members helped me raise Lorraine.
And so is it your testimony you never told him about your daughter?
When she was first born, I never told him until she was like a year old.
What happened? How did you get in contact with him?
Well, I went back over to my old hood where he lives at, and I went over there to see a friend, and I ran right into him, and I told him, like, you got a baby. I just told him, you got a baby. And he was like, what? Who is she? I mean, what is her name? And how she look? And who is she with? And stuff like that. And he was acting like he was so excited about the baby. That's how come I don't understand why he's knuckling up now.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Were you excited when you found out, Mr. Smith? Do you remember this conversation?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Lorraine, you do?
Yeah.
And Lorraine was 1. So then what did you do to pursue a relationship with your daughter, or did you do anything?
I didn't, Your Honor.
Even though you acted happy about it?
Yes.
So why didn't you ever show up?
Because he was too busy out there hoeing around, having partying and hoeing
I was
around
doing
with
my
his
thing.
friends,
I was
with
doing my
other
thing. I ain't
girls.
gonna lie. I was doing my thing.
And so,
but-
Ms. Bowley,
Man.
I know you was.
Ms. Bowley-Jack, when you hear this conversation, the fact that this man who your mom says is your biological father was excited to hear about you, but never ever came to see you.
Your Honor, I spoke with him once when I was 12. He called the phone. He told me that he was my father. So it's surprising today that he does not have any recollection or anything. But when I spoke to him when I was 12, he told me he was my father. He gave me a phone number that I can contact him back on. 2 days later, I tried to contact him. The phone was disconnected. So everything that's going on today is just like, it's so many inconsistent stories from both parties.
And so, Ms. Bowley-Jack, I want you to look at Mr. Smith and I want you to tell him what it felt like waiting 12 years to get a call and then after that, calling 2 days later and that number being disconnected.
It was a horrible feeling. No child should ever have to not know who their father is, and then when you do call, you basically sent me off. You gave me a number that was disconnected that I could not contact you back on, and then I never heard from you again until I took initiative to find you. You never took initiative to look for me, to look for my mom, even in that matter. You didn't do anything.
And how did that make you feel?
Hurt, angry, disgusted.
And Mr. Smith, when you hear Ms. Bowley-Jack, when you hear Lorraine describe what it felt like as a child, how does it make you feel to hear that?
It really hurts me. It really hurts me. You know?
Why did you disappear? Why? You had opportunity. She came to find you, to tell you. At 1, that would have been before Lorraine could remember all of this. Why? Why did you disappear?
It was, Your Honor, it's the life I was living out there, you know. I wasn't ready to step up to the plate and have any kids.
Did you think some years? I mean, you had to think about her if you called her at 12 years old. What made
Always.
you call that
Your Honor,
day?
I think he always had her in her mind because anytime I run into him, where my daughter at? Where she at? What she doing? That's how come I don't understand why he gonna try to sit up here now and say, well, she was a hoe. She ain't my daughter. No, don't sit up there and don't try to throw me under the bus. Because I wasn't in her life either, Your Honor. So I didn't have a relationship with her. So she didn't have her mother or her father in her life. And, years down the line, the Lord delivered me. He delivered me off of drugs. I went to treatment and stuff like that. And I've been in her life ever since, and I helped her raise her kids.
Amen.
Yeah.
It's almost 30 years. So after the phone call at 12 years old, you promise her, I guess you're gonna keep in touch, and then the number disconnected.
I was messed up too.
And so did you
I was
ever
messed up,
really
too.
doubt it, or were you just not ready? Which one?
I had doubts, both.
And why did you have doubts?
Because
the life that she was living.
He met me
I'm
a
saying.
little while down the line, and when he met me, I was in my addiction, and
But Ms. Common, you did admit, though, there was one other man, which was your ex.
Yes.
Was the time you went back with your ex anywhere near the window of conception?
Okay, so like when I left Robert and I went back to my ex, I had sex with him the same day I went back with him. And I didn't find out I was pregnant until a month later after that. But I had sex with both of them on the same day.
Okay, so that is what a paternity issue is made of.
That's why I said I don't know for sure if it's really Rob or...
And so how did you just decide it was Mr. Smith?
Well, because she looks exactly like his family members. She looked exactly like him.
What about my
She
other
looked like
kid?
him.
I got other kids.
I know you got other kids by other mothers. I'm saying who she looked like. She looked just like your family members. You even admitted it yourself.
And so the truth is you didn't know for sure because you had sex with two different men in the same day. Eventually, you really started to observe the calendar.
Yes.
To figure out, okay, let's look at this window of conception.
Yes.
So this is the calendar you submitted to the court. You said July is when you believe you conceived, right?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
And that's when you were with Mr. Smith, but you also admit you were sexually active with your ex.
Yes.
So it is around the window of conception.
Yes.
And so Lorraine was born April 21st. And so if you do the calculation and you count back, the window of conception lines up, but unfortunately would point at two different men, your ex and Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Now it makes more sense to me why you were motivated as well to disappear. Truth is, you didn't know.
I didn't know, no.
Did you tell the ex that he was the father and that you were pregnant?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
You did?
Yes, I did.
So did he take care of Lorraine?
Yes, he did when she was a baby. Yes, he did. He went to the hospital with me. You know, he was there for her.
So, Lorraine, do you have a relationship with the other man?
No. To my remembrance, I've never had a relationship with him. I don't remember anything from a baby, so.
Do you have a relationship with Mr. Smith now?
We talk, and he's been to my church with me.
Does he accept you as his daughter, or is there still a feeling of limbo?
I believe between both of us, there's still a feeling of limbo.
What are your hopes?
My hopes is that she actually knows what she's talking about, that he is the father. But more so, my hopes is just for the truth to come out. That's it. I just want to know, not even for me, because at this point, I'm grown. I don't need anything from a father, but I would love my kids to have their grandfather like they have their grandmother, so.
And she still need her dad. Even though she's saying she's grown, I still feel like she still reaches out like she really need her dad in her life.
What are your hopes, Mr. Smith?
I am her father, and then so I can get to know my grandbabies.
Well, let's not wait any longer to get the results. Jerome, I'm ready. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Common versus Smith, when it comes to 29-year-old Lorraine Bolijak, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Smith, you are not the father. I'm very sorry. Very, very sorry, Lorraine. I was hoping to be able to give you the closure you need and deserve. Ms. Common, I have to ask you, does that mean your daughter's father is your ex-boyfriend, or is there someone else?
No, there's no one else. It was just them two, So he's definitely the father.
So do you know where he is?
Yes, I know where he is. I'm gonna call him and let him know.
Also, Ms. Common, if there is somebody else, your testimony did change in this courtroom. This is the point in time where you call up the strength to just tell the truth. And what I will say is you've overcome so much when you talk about a life of addiction and the way that you are there now for your grandchildren. I need you to use that same strength to be that mother for your daughter. Lorraine, is there anything you'd like to say?
To him, to Rob, I'm sorry. I mean, it really isn't my fault, you know. But like I said, both stories were inconsistent, so.
Your Honor, can I say something? Can I hug them?
If they're okay with it, of course.
Okay.
You all been through a long road together, and now we just have to keep on keeping on, all right? We have counseling and resources for you all. I wish you the very, very best of luck. Court is adjourned.